I'm on a mission today. I want to finish this sketchbook that I dislike it so much. And the first reason why I dislike is quite evident as I'm showing you, and is because it ripped apart completely. As I'm turning pages, the page will just stay in my hands. So that is not good for a sketchbook, but mostly is the paper itself that just drive me insane. And I mentioned this a bunch of time. Is a transparent paper for being a watercolor paper 200 GSM. That is so weird. It feels weird as a texture, but that is not even the worst. It's just the fact that it's transparent. Now likely it's just a 10 pages sketchbook, and the reason why I got this, it came in a scroller box subscription, so it wasn't my choice to buy, so I'm not mad at myself. But also, yeah, I think there was a problem just in creating the paper. So as I said, it's 10 pages, but I am obsessed with fill up my sketchbook until the very end, which means I will fill up every space, every corner. In this case, back and front of the sketchbook. Some pages have already been filled, that's why I know how it behaves, but I have 10 more pages left. 5 of these pages you will see them today, and then I will create a part 2 where I will show you the other 5 pages. I do work a lot expressively, so that's what I'm going to do today. And when I do that, I do create a base, and I do like to create my base in batches. So that's why in this video you see 5 pages that will all have an acrylic base. In the next video you will see 5 more pages that have a gouache base. I will use my jelly gouache for next time. And the reason why on a watercolor paper I'm not using watercolor is because by being transparent, if I use watercolor and then mark making on top, everything will be seen from the back of the page, so the two artwork back and front, they will just blend into each other in a hot mess. By using a thick or opaque paint, I create sort of a layer that will protect my mark making on top, won't be filtering through, and the back of the page you will just see a fainting layer of color, but not all the hot mess of the marks on top. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but as you see here, I am creating some backgrounds on each page, plus one of the page I decided to use it as my brush cleaner page. So the background on that page right on the right side would be a surprise, because I'm using the page to clean my brushes, my brush from excess paint that I don't just want to waste by washing it off. And yeah, so I don't know what is going to be in the end. It's not my choice. But also the other pages, just try to have a different color so they don't all look the same. And when I'm going to do mark making on top, is going to be a challenge for me, because I have a different design and I don't know what to create on top for it. So it's going to be just fun for me, the idea to create, especially to create on a background that is done by just cleaning my brushes. And maybe this is an idea for you guys, instead of just wash off the excess paint, try to have a spare sketchbook or a spare page next to you, so you can just clean your brush on the page and then in the future, whenever you're ready, you can go back to it. I decided to start with this design because I was so in love with it. As soon as I placed the first brush stroke, I knew what was going to become, and this is why it has a different shape compared to the other one. That green and that black melting together side by side, creating the stroke. I loved it. And I went on top with the Rubens pencil. I use charcoal pencil and pastel pencil because I just love the mark they're making on top of acrylic. They work super well. And this one in yellow, I believe to be a Pro Color series. Let me check. Yes, it's a Pro Color from the Rent as well, and it's a deep cadmium 06. And then I didn't like the bright white around that is just so in your face, so I grab my gold acrylic in this pipette and I create a little interest around. I chose my second background, and here I going on top with mostly oil pastel. You will see what I mean. And I am creating a simple still life that went wrong. I tried to keep my artwork as simple and expressive as possible in these days because it just fits my life how it is right now. So as you see, those two oil pastel, they lay down quite differently because it's two different consistency. The first one is sennelier, that is much buttery and soft, and you can just smudge it around and blend it in. It's beautiful. The second one is Faber-Castell. It has a harder consistency, which means you can use it for mark making, and that is quite beautiful for it. It create really lovely marks, but when it comes to actually create a design, it drives you insane. You better off using a soft oil pastel. And so this flower, I just could not recover from it. I had a problem lay on top of my oil pastel, the harder one, so I end up just making a hot mess. I dislike the flower. I like the rest of the page, so I may just cut it 3/4 in one day should I decide to do anything with it. And so I'm using this thinner one, are the sennelier, and I'm just using to create some shadow, some more interest, and I'm still trying to save the flower, but yeah, it's not happening. I will just give up at a certain point. No, I keep on trying. Yeah, to try to save it, I also use some fluid acrylic in a bold pink, just to try to save it. And I didn't have a brush next to me, but I had a fake flower, so I move it around with the stem of a fake flower. Don't ask me why I could not bother to go and grab a brush. This is just one of the mystery of me and my channel. I am moving to the third design. This is my cleanup page, my cleanup background, and so I decided to just keep it abstract in a sort of way, and I start to create marks all around the page, different shape, different consistency, different medium. Here I'm using mainly the acrylic markers, and I create first a purple flower in the center, but I was a bit mad because it didn't really pop the way I want it on the background. So I will go back and work a little bit more on it, because I want my centerpiece to really be visible and really grab the eye attention. When I'm doing abstract, I like to have a place where the viewer can rest his eyes before to move around and enjoy all the marks on the page, because otherwise it can feel a bit overwhelming. And to avoid that feeling, I tend to have one focus point where the viewer can just relax and soften. And this is what I try to do with this fine Posca pen in white, just creating some dots around. I was a little bit tired by this point, and yeah, I had still the feeling that I just wanted to get to the end of this sketchbook, and I wasn't too precious with it at this point. I know it's nothing in here that I may want to keep it sort of. I mean, the flower, it's definitely my favorite. Actually, guys, let me know in the comment which one of these 5 design is your favorite. The flower is definitely mine. I fell in love with the brush stroke from the very beginning. Sometimes a piece just knows where it goes. Here I'm creating a sort of night forest as suggested from you in a community post. I had some more lovely suggestion, but by then I already painted this one, but they were quite interesting, so I will use those suggestions in the future. But for today I am creating only a Posca pen and a quick forest. The same for this last one. I'm going with only one material. I'm using my new very affordable fountain pen that makes me quite happy to have in my life, and I'm creating a sort of very basic cityscape with a tree shooting from the side, and I'm adding a few detail, and this is all it is. Actually, I showed this piece to some people in my life, and they said that this is their favorite. It's definitely the least favorite of mine, but I guess different people, different taste. Let me know. Yeah, absolutely, let me know which one is your favorite. I'm so curious. I think for this piece is the background, the color filtering through the landscape that makes it super interesting and special. Alright guys, this is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and thank you for smashing the like button. And now to the final shot.